In this video, we continue to learn how to turn AI-generated model into game-ready. And this episode is about marketplaces. Yes, in previous videos, we already generated model, we edited the mesh, we sculpted, baked the textures, painted, and even rigged. So now this is exactly the moment to start making money. If you missed any of the episode, please take a look at the playlist. It's available and free, and let's move on. So we're gonna publish it on CGTrader. This is one of my account, and in last year it was almost 3K on sales. And another one, it will be a Fab. Basically, last year they united few big platforms into one, and now I think this is one of the most popular, definitely. So we're gonna publish on Fab as well. And if we take a look on my sales reports, yeah, you can see there are some sales, some payouts. It's not bad. Okay, let's get started. And the first thing, let's do last preparation. Let's make sure that our geometries on the armature have applied transforms. You can see in transforms there's rotation and scale, there are 0 and 1s. That should be like that. If it's not, we select the mesh, press Ctrl A and choose apply scale and rotation. Our rig is done with Mixamo, and you see the rotation is 90 and scale is 0.01, and this is absolutely fine for armature. So for armature, do not apply scale and rotation. That's totally fine, because if you do so, they will probably face difficulties applying any animations. And of course, we're gonna need to make a decent naming. So let's rename this to body, and you see in Blender there is an object name which I'm showing right now, and there is a mesh, and mesh is used in some software, so we're gonna rename it in the same way. Why not? And the materials, of course. The standard here is to call it like a name of the object underscore material or a mat. So we're gonna call it body mat. I'm gonna do the same exactly thing for eyes teeth object. Alright, it's done. Another important thing that we need to check if we want to be professional, that we do not have any polygons with more than 4 sides. So how to do that? You can check it visually, or you can add modifier triangulate, but it will triangulate whole model. It's not really the best way, because it will remove loops and stuff, and we did a nice retopology. So we're not gonna do that. I show you one nice way. We're gonna go to edit mode or press tab. We're gonna go to the faces mode. Then we go to select all by trade and faces by sides. Here we're gonna choose 4 and greater than. And now you can press dots on the numpad, and it will actually take you to polygon that has more sides, more vertices than 4. And we can just press Ctrl plus T, which will basically triangulate it. Yeah, that was probably the only one polygon like that. So as you can see, there is no more, and that's fine. That will prevent some artifacts in some software. Which 3D AI is best? Which one is better, Tripo or Rodin? Does new Hitem 3D better than Hunyuan 3.0? Which AI choose for sculpting and which for game models? Guys, no need to ask these questions anymore. I created 3 platform for you, which has all the answers. Top3D.ai, it's like LM Arena but for 3D. You can check different generations in battle mode on a lot of different tests. You can compare specific models with each other to see which one is the best. Fair leaderboard based on your answers, reviews, and all details that you might need about it. And if you go there and leave at least one review, you have chance to win 1 year of pro subscriptions of 3D AI of your choice. And now the best part, let's make a photo shoots of our cutie. I created a simple scene where you can put the model. Here is a small overview. There is a front light, a base lights, there is a contour backside light, and the camera. Guys, there is a link in the description to a Notion file prepared for you. There is a Blender scene you can use right away, and all links that I will use in this video. So do not get lost, take a look, jump in this file and grab that Blender scene. So you can use Eevee for rendering, but I like cycles for this. So here is my settings. You can basically just repeat the settings. We can go to render mode. Here is our preview. Okay, this is the lighting setup. Okay, so to start doing render, let's select the camera, press 0 on numpad, and we can just press F12 or render image. Here is our renders. So here is another render. As you basically rotate the model, the render is the same process. Another thing is, which is is more complex, they usually show a wireframe model on the white solid material, right? Here's the easy way to do that. So we're gonna go and remove all the materials from eyes and body. We'll just create a new basic one. We're gonna go to edit mode, the edge mode here, select mark freestyle edge. So that will actually help us to render them. Then we go to render settings and we need to check the freestyle, make it active. Then we go to layers. Here you will see the freestyle like this. And basically we'll need to make sure that the only edge mark is selected. And then you can see the settings for the freestyle. There's a freestyle color that basically will do the paint's edges. And here is a freestyle thickness. So if you want control it, transparency, thickness, and color, you do it here. Now, if you press a render, you will have render like this. This is exactly the renders you put on the marketplace to show how your mesh grid look on your model. And the last one, I actually pose the model. You can take a look at previous episode how you do posing. It's very simple. I spent some time and did this pose. I will use it as a cover. I think it looks super cool and super cute. I will also provide that file with a posed dino for your reference in that Notion file. And now when we have all the images, let's prepare the files. So let's disable the scene. Make sure that there is nothing else in your file. Just delete it. Save this file. Now you basically can export it in the formats that you work with, but if we follow these standards, there are a few standards that we usually use. It's obviously blend, FBX, GLB, and USDC. To convert a file into USDC, I use this website. It's very easy, just drop GLB there. And OBJ. OBJ, you export it with the materials. It consists 2 files, so that we pack it into zip. But one moment you need to know, if you publish it on CGTrader, you need to delete all textures before publishing. For FBX and OBJ, CGTrader require them to be without textures because textures are in separate folder called textures. So you're gonna go to each object, delete all texture and export to FBX and OBJ, but not delete the materials. So you can see I also created a folder texture where I put all the textures. Basically, my initial textures were a 2K, but I also created 1K version. I like to use this I Love Image website. It's super easy and free. You can drop all the images there. It will resize it to 1K or any resolution you need. Also, because I do have high poly version that we created in my first video, I put the sculpt here without the materials and I save it like in 2 ways, blend and FBX for reference. You can also create such a nice README. For reference, basically you can see I just described everything that we prepared. Textures for GLB, texture for FBX and OBJ, AO textures, and also for baking purpose, I left the high poly model, right? We can also say like, thank you, appreciate your purchase, and so on. And also there is a zip folder containing everything basically. So we're gonna put everything in one zip. Of course, we're gonna use ChatGPT and put our posed render. I provided some data, 1200K trace. I'm gonna put it on the stock and stuff. And here it suggests me to do a name, description, technical details, rigged, textures included, formats, compatibility. I also created tags thanks to ChatGPT, and here they are. So now we are ready to start publishing. We're gonna go to CGTrader first. We're gonna go upload. We're gonna drop all the files here that I just created. So it will be FBX, GLB, USDC, OBJ, and blend file. So here you can see all of them. Make sure that the format is detected in the right way. We're gonna drop all the renders here, and you can see there is another render I just added. It's not a render, basically it's just a screenshot, so sometimes you can also put a screenshot. All right, okay, so we put a title, we put a description that we just get from ChatGPT. It is worth mentioning in title that it's rigged because that add extra value. Okay, we added all the tags. In technical details, basically we go through everything that we did. A CGI model because it has textures and it's for game. Textures, materials, rigged. It's not animated, but it's just rigged. We do not include animations. It's low poly in our case. It is PBR because it uses material properties. It has UV mount, and we used plugins for it. Here it ask for faces and triangles, you basically can see all this information in Blender stats. If you go into this menu and enable statistics, it might be disabled on your end, so just enable it and you will have all the stats. Then the category, I bet you can do the category by your own without ChatGPT. And the price, we're gonna go for $4.99. We can press preview to see how it looks on the CGTrader. It looks just amazing. Now we're going back and press publish. That's basically it. It is, of course, will take some time to get verified. In some cases, it might take up to 3-4 days, but usually it's around 1 day. And they also will assign the quality setting here. And the higher the score is, the higher position it will give, but in my opinion, it's not really affecting this too much unless it's like too bad and you did a really bad models. Now let's move on to Fab and go to publish and listings. We're gonna create a new listing. We're gonna create a 3D because it's a 3D model. Same things here, title, description. Here I filled it. Category, standard, license, free or paid. We're gonna set a price. The professional price is for commercial use. If you did something really good, you don't want it to go wild, you can set this price higher. We're gonna skip it. We're gonna add tags that we also created. On Fab, it's like limited amount of tags, so we're gonna choose from suggested. Then we're gonna upload the thumbnail, media gallery. So I already uploaded all the images. And one of the cool thing is because it's previously it was a Sketchfab, you can load the 3D model here. I gonna export the model I posed and I'm gonna export it in GLB. I will choose selected objects because I only want Dino exported without the lights and background. And in armature, to keep it posed, I will remove the checkbox on use rest position. So that will make sure that my pose is exported correct. And then you can press export. And here how it looks. So it's like a preview. If you don't like how the model looks, you can go to edit 3D settings and there are more settings to select, like the environment and stuff. So I did like it very basic way and it looks absolutely good. Here's some stuff that there's no major content. Here they asked like if we did use AI, and of course we should mention that we partially created model with AI. That's totally fine. All right. And on the left side, we can add the formats and we can add our files. So I added like Blender additional files. In additional files, I actually put the whole pack, that one zip with everything included. And I also did add some small description. And here in GLT or GLB is the Z Fab do automatic conversion. So we're gonna set the source file as Blender and just make sure in your Blender file there is nothing else but Dino model. The Blender already added here, so it will use it from there. We can submit, we're gonna choose automatic publication, and you can see, yes, it will take 1 to 2 business days. And let's press OK. Well, basically that's it. But usually it might take faster to get the publication. So guys, congratulations, you just published a model on Marketplace. And with Mr. Mark, we wish you a lot of sales. If you still have questions, I'm happy to answer in the comments. Like and subscribe and see you in the next video.